Award-winning animator and illustrator who loves to add a touch of unicorn rainbow happiness to her work. Some of her clients include Hallmark e-cards, Bhutan, Adapted Studios, and the Philippine Daily Comic Quarter, and Deval Publishing, Miss Jeca Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, our topic for the afternoon, let's hear it from the Millenials.
Hi everyone! Is everyone doing fine? I just want to get to know the audience before I start. So, who here are animators? By show of hands. Okay, and syempre, Animation Festival. And which one of you are freelance animators? Okay, so at least may makaka-relate. I'm here to talk about my experience as a freelance creative and some of the things that I've learned so far. So let me just quickly introduce myself. Okay. I'm Jeca Martinez. I'm an animator and illustrator, and I've been doing this professionally since 2013, so it's not too long ago. How did I begin my freelance journey? It's kind of like a short story time. So what happened was, sometime in 2014, my brother, just super randomly out of the blue, he decided to bring home 2 baby rabbits. All of a sudden, we now had 2 super cute rabbits that my cat wanted nothing more than to eat. And one time, while I was playing with my rabbits, the cat ate them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's not what happened. What really happened was that the rabbits, they kind of, I don't have a picture of this, but they kind of nuzzled into each other like this. And I noticed that they formed a heart shape. And it was like a light bulb moment. Like I immediately had an idea to create a Valentine's Day animated greeting card inspired by this. And how I remember that moment was that as soon as I had that idea, I stood up and went straight to my laptop and started working on the animation. So I did that for that same day, and I published it on Valentine's Day 2014. And here, I'll show you how it turned out. It's super short. Animation was also inspired by Hallmark e-cards, which, if you haven't heard of them, I'm sure you guys have seen Hallmark greeting cards in National Bookstore. So Hallmark has this division that creates animated versions of greeting cards. So that thing happened in January, February 2014. And by April, I got an email from the Hallmark e-cards saying that they loved that Valentine's Day animation that I made, and they wanted to commission me to create more e-cards for them. And that I saw that email like as soon as I woke up, so I literally jumped out of bed. And I was like, yes! It's like, this is my first big freelance client, and I also consider that moment to be the start of my freelance career. So this happened April, but the thing was, at that exact same month, I also started my first full-time job as an animator and illustrator in a local company. So as you can imagine, my first full-time job and my first big freelance client, and I wasn't in the position to give up either of these opportunities, right? So for 9 months, I was like this, just animating day and night, and my day job during the day, and freelance at night. And I'm sure like a lot of you are animators, so you understand how difficult and time-consuming animation is. And eventually it came to a point where I had to choose between my full-time job, which meant a steady income every month, or my freelance work. And this was such a dilemma for me because in my heart I knew I wanted to pursue freelance, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to give up a steady paycheck every month. But then I thought, you know what, I'm young and I didn't have that many responsibilities yet. So I might as well try something different. So eventually I took the plunge and resigned from my regular job. And there were also circumstances in my life that led to that decision, but it's like a whole different story. And so since then, I've been freelancing full-time, and I've had the absolute pleasure of working with Hallmark e-cards on more animated greetings. If you want to watch them, they're all in my website. These are just GIFs from the animation. And I also worked with Vibal Publishing on this children's book called Pinangan sa Karagatan, which you can buy in National Bookstore. And I also work with the Philippine Daily Inquirer on this illustration, as well as this indie documentary called The Goddess Project. I also work with some more clients, but then my work for them is still unpublished, so I can't really show them just yet. So, okay, after all this, what have I learned as a freelance animator and illustrator? So number one, put your work out there. I feel like as artists, we tend to be really shy to show our work to others because it's such a part of our work is such a part of ourselves, and it makes us feel vulnerable to show that side of ourselves to other people. But you never know who's looking on the other side of the screen. For all you know, it could be your next big client. Which leads me to my second point. Treat freelance as a real business, because guess what? It actually is. We know that all businesses need to make money to survive, and an art business is no different. It makes use of your time, your skills, and your equipment. And when you start thinking that your freelance career is an actual business, your mindset and approach in doing things will change. Like you'll start to do things that are out of your comfort zone, like for example, reaching out to clients, posting work on social media, pushing your work out there, budgeting, pricing correctly for your work, and so on. But you have to do them because your business is your baby, and you have to figure out how to sustain it and help it grow. Number three, make work that you want to be paid to do. Kind of like what happened with my Valentine's Day e-card with the 2 rabbits. That project was made purely out of passion and inspiration. And I feel like genuine passion really attracts the right clients for you. And it also doesn't make sense if, for example, you want to create children's books, but then all you do are like corporate websites. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but my point is to do something related to the type of work that you want to do. And I also read somewhere that clients usually go for the least risky choice for them. By doing work that you want to be hired to do, that's proof to clients that you can deliver on that type of project. So point number 4, you can learn something from everyone. No matter how much you've achieved in life, stay humble and always be open to learning. That's so important because that's how you will grow as an artist. But at the same time, don't compare. You're only up against yourself. We're all probably guilty of this, especially with social media, constantly displaying everyone's best moments. And we see all these incredible works by other artists. But remember that social media is not real life, and behind all those posts are people who are also going through their own struggles and challenges, just like you and me. And everybody's timeline is different. So don't compare other people's finish lines to your starting point. I firmly believe that if something isn't happening for you right now, then it might not be the right time for you, and that's okay. But at the same time, you kind of have to keep working to create the right circumstances for you, for that thing or that dream of yours to happen. And number 6, trust the long process. As artists, we know that creating work takes a lot of time and energy. And there are times when I'm just so tired and I want to sleep, and the only thing that's fueling me is coffee, of course, and this belief that this idea that I'm working on will work. And there are times when it doesn't. Like, I've had some personal projects that I worked so hard on, and I was hoping that it will become viral, or like maybe I can get a client from this, but then none of those things happened. But then again, we never know what could happen. So at the very least, we could be hopeful and kind of naive in a way that the project you're working on could lead to something. And I just want to share with you these two quotes that I have on my corkboard above my desk, which is, there are no elevators to success, everyone takes the stairs. So don't be in a hurry, it's really a long process. And everything is your decision. You're in charge of your path and nothing worth it ever comes easy. So to close off my talk, I just want to share with you my latest demo reel. Here are all the links, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thank you!